Okay. Anton,
Yes.
thank you for coming live. Anton is a certified success coach and been in the food wholesaling industry for nearly over 20 years now, operating and managing a multi-million-dollar business. I have Anton here with us today because I believe Anton has massive value to provide today and share with us. He's doing some really good stuff to pivot and market his business during COVID-19. Anton, can you please tell us a little bit more about your business just to get us started?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mark. And first of all, I really appreciate your time and attention all the time, but especially at this time in the industry. I think people now are going through a lot of perhaps fear, anxiety and doubt. And, to have this modern technology and the access to this support and information, that wasn't around as much before. And certainly in 2008 with the GFC, and in the 80s and 90s, if you couldn't speak to someone near you, you felt alone. So gratitude to you. I've really been focusing on gratitude lately, and thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Look, I'm still young. I feel, but I started in the 90s in business. I was a success coach and an entrepreneur, but I wanted to try my hand at business. And in 1996 in Melbourne, myself and a business partner friend of mine, we started it at home, making a few slices, brownies and things like that, and supplying some cafes. And back then, you probably recall that the cafe market wasn't like it is today. So mum and dad or aunt and uncle who were really good cook would set up a coffee shop, and people would come for their food and they would make everything themselves. And in those days, people started to buy a couple of cookies, a couple of things, and it grew very slowly from there. And it wasn't a get-rich-quick scheme, and absolutely not. And we eventually, from our kitchen at home, we got a little small bakery and our first employee, not trained chefs at all. We didn't have a clue. But what we did is we turned up to these cafes. Actually, we used to go door to door with a bow tie and carrying a basket like Red Riding Hood with samples. And cafe owners were very happy to try a few things that they put on their counter. And, fast forward 10 years and another 10 years, this is a long time, but we went through the 90s and the next millennium, it's weird to say it like that. And we eventually got a big factory, and we're supplying cafes and distributors, and we got HACCP, which a lot of your listeners will know about, the health certifications, and lots of products. And now we're filling up trucks and going interstate. That was unimaginable. Actually, we did imagine it, but I don't know if we believed it. But certainly I remember one day standing out the front of my little shop and seeing this truck drive past. I was in York Street, South Melbourne, tiny little place. And I imagined our stuff filling up that truck one day. I tried to convince myself. And in truth, it probably took 15 years after that day. And my business partner, I must say, is my greatest asset. And because he often says death by 1,000 cuts in this type of business, lots of micromanagement. And I think part of the reason we're still around and we're now one of the market leaders is probably because only our determination, our commitment, and certainly not our skill in making the best brownie or running the best kitchen. Absolutely, we've learned a lot about that, and we've learned to hire people better than us. I think that's a big lesson for an entrepreneur. You need to look and hire people better than you, and once you get over that, you can grow. And so we put in systems, and still growing and learning and improving. But again, the success is nothing to do with individual skill. As they say in McDonald's, they don't have the best burger, but they have the best burger delivery system in the world. And we certainly focused on that. And these days, we certainly move and sell a lot of slices, lemon slices, things like that around the country. And they're very good. They're really nice. The brownies are amazing, but it's the systems behind it. And a lot of our learnings and trials and tribulations have been around systems and absolutely back-end systems, but marketing and sales, which we'll touch on later. So that brings us to the present day, and now a challenge we haven't seen before.
So how does the challenge look like today, and what's the how would you rate it, in terms of challenge, in terms of size? Was it anything that you expected, or what do you feel, and what do you have to say about that?
Mark, that's a very good question. How would you rate it? And there are aspects of this challenge which we have faced before, and aspects of it. One thing that was to our advantage, rather than having, and we did try our hand we supplied, lots of cafes around the country, but I did try my hand in building and owning and operating a cafe of my own, and because I thought, well, we supply so many, well, surely we can own and operate one. And I did look beautiful and set it up in a shopping centre, and we thought we'll supply our retail outlet. It was a small but nice. That was one of the hardest. I found that much harder than running the massive wholesale business. Extremely difficult. And we did some good things, and we stuffed up a few things, as all business owners know. But if you're going to stuff up big, right? You go for it.
That's right.
So we faced lots of challenges, and I'm talking staff challenges, cash flow challenges, logistical challenges, learning challenges, lots. This one, did we see it coming? No, but I don't think many people did. But I think there are a lot of businesses that we supply, cafes and restaurants specifically, and bakeries, who were already on the edge, living week to week. And certainly we've had our challenges in that regard. We probably had a sense of the downturn that was coming around, I can't pick the date, but let's call it early February. We had no sense that lockdowns were going to come onto our industry. But we made, and I thank my business partner again for this, some strategic plays. We built up our stock to get it ready. We made sure we had strong ties with all our suppliers and our landlord. We made sure that the marketing that was already in play and running, and I'll go into that later, was redoubled. So we reached out to our clients. We just hit the phones and hit our methods, and made sure that the lifeblood of the business is the customer. I know everyone says that, but we already had systems which could be improved, where we have customer contact and customer contact management and follow-up and offers, and they can always be improved. By no means were they perfect, and so we had resources in play that were already exercising that topic. And so I have never identified as a cake maker. In fact, I'm not a chef, even though I've been doing it for 24 years and have had my hand in designing product. I've mopped floors, I've done all that. The chefs these days don't know that I used to mop the floors, and sometimes it's important that they don't see me in an ivory tower, and I get in there and do that. But the marketing and the sales, and of course, as long as the other systems and the product is good, the most vital. So we redoubled that. But then when the lockdowns came, it's pretty hard to market to somebody that's closed, or market to somebody that says, yeah, that's a great offer, but I've got to shut my business. And so we'll go into what we had to do there, but that was extremely difficult time, because over the years we've saved ourselves every time through marketing. Every time we needed cash flow or money or sales, most people found that hard. That was our strength. And production issues, logistical issues probably always tripped us up, and we've solved them along the way. But sales and marketing and having a good connection with customer probably saved us. But this time, as you say, did it surprise you? Oh yeah. So we've ramped that up, and we've found other ways, and we're trying things. And this is not a prophecy, but we hope and feel that between 3 to 6 months, the market's coming back. Okay. And absolutely new things are going to spring out of this. And because we feel the market's coming back, and we are still doing more of what we were doing in the hope that all those seeds are being planted, and then those sprouts will come, like the bushfires. You see those classic pictures of after there's these green sprouts. And of course, you got to hang on along the way, otherwise you won't be there to see those sprouts. So we're not in dreamland. We're not in dreamland. We've had to do a lot of things to what I would call active hibernation. So we're certainly not closed. We're actually trading, even though we have had, regrettably, to set aside some staff at this time, but we're keeping in touch with everyone. So I would say my personal initial reaction would have been like any human being on the planet. I would have had a bit of shock. I would have questioned myself, my business, my future, my family. And I definitely went through that time. The emotion of fear, as Tony Robbins calls it, false evidence appearing real. Well, this case, it didn't appear to be false evidence. And, you're glued to the media, but then you think, well, oh no, what can I do? No longer does it matter if I'm the best marketer of lemon slice if no one's open. What is that going to do? How do I pay my bills? All these questions that everyone's asking themselves. What's going to happen? What about my personal financial situation? Yes, I had my house in order, can always be better, but you don't expect that rug to be pulled out. So I think that reacting to the fear is, people do it in their own way. Some people curl up. Some people brace themselves. Some people go away and come back. Certainly me, I had to go away, and I felt like I had to upgrade myself and I had to make myself better, because only what I can control is myself. So I can't control the market. I can't control the government, the situation, but I can make myself better. So probably like lots of people have done, I did some personal work, including meditation and breath work. I know we're going off topic, but I feel like as a leader or an entrepreneur, as a father of three and a business person, the only way to face this is with confidence, courage, in spite of what's going on.
Mindset.
Yeah.
Mindset, managing your mindset and
managing the mind. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I feel like that started, and again, having good people around you, like yourself and your friends and your family, is key.
That's right.
Because success is a team sport. That's a good one to use.
That's right. So, tell us a little bit more about the stuff that you guys are doing today to make business happen.
Sure. So what we already had in play, because our main customer base is cafes, restaurants, food distributors, bakeries. Now, as we all know, the laws today, some version of takeaway only, home delivery only. And of course, those that could pivot towards that or who were already sniffing around that are making a go of that. Some bakeries are still busy. So what we have done is, because we supply bakeries, is knock on the door of more bakeries. But more importantly, making offers, because we're the manufacturer, we can make, first of all, the product has to be great and sell, and it does, it's established. But we make a lot of our food distributors that we support, some of them were just struggling and perhaps couldn't order, and they order very big. So we offer to support them because they're our customers. So we make offers to their customers on behalf of them, really great deals. Sometimes break even or just a bit break even or better. And we're doing that more and more and more. And unbelievably, we have new customers coming on. I'm still surprised, and I love it when I hear a new customers come, but it didn't come necessarily because they hunted us down. It may have, but more than likely it's coming because we feel like I know everyone on the news and TV is saying we're all in this together, and that's nice. But what does that really mean? Well, what that really means is you reach out to your customers and your suppliers and you actually do something together. Some companies who sell milk and fruit and veg, we're looking to form alliances with them and help them go to the home delivery market, because we understand that people at home, they don't want to buy one delivery from this guy, one from that guy, one from this guy. Just like cafes, they want to consolidate, and they don't want to pay all these delivery fees.
That's right.
And as you know, and I think you recently promoted a new service that doesn't have that hefty cut like some other companies that we don't need to say. And so all of that is actually genuinely helping, and of course it's business, but you're actually helping customers get what they need. So that's been in play. The new stuff's been in play now for a month or so, and it's starting to prove results. And we'll see, the proof is in the pudding in the next several months as we go through this lockdown. But the same old marketing systems, and thanks again to my business partner for laying those tracks and those systems. They were already in play months prior. We just have to ramp that effort up. And if I was a bakery or a cafe and I could get much cheaper stuff I already want to need, not something I don't need, this is great. Absolutely, I want to get that. I don't want to buy from a distributor and pay extra. I can't afford it right now. I've got to just put my staff off. A lot of operators are probably working themselves where perhaps they didn't. They used to have it under management, and we all want to keep these people on side, like the JobKeeper and this, so that when it comes back, we're back. So I think let's see what results come on. I'm happy with what I'm seeing, and you have to look forward to what I feel is a forecast of 3 to 6 months that the industry coming back. But I also look forward to a new market emerging and what we can do in that space, which is the home delivery market. And I think a lot of people.
I can tell you from what we're seeing, a lot of our clients opened up a brand new source of income that wasn't activated in the past.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's going beyond their expectations, only due because of the current situation. When things are back to normal, maybe the numbers might look a little bit different. Sure. But this is a business model they've never had before, and they've activated today. But when things are back to normal, you're like, what? Dining is coming back, and you've got this source of income that you've activated. You put a lot of energy into it, a lot of effort, and you're keeping up to date with times, and you're not just sticking to one thing in your business, which is the dining. It doesn't really matter what size or what class your restaurant is at, from fine dining to casual or to quick service. All of them today are offering something they've never ever thought they would be offering in their lifetime, and it's working for some of them.
It's fantastic. And how are they delivering? I'm just curious. A lot of them themselves.
Most of them themselves. Some of them they employed their own staff that used to do waitering or or kitchen. They're actually hired them to do delivery. So kind of trying to support their own staff in every single way possible. And if they don't have that option, then you can always look into a third party. So this is what's happening today. You know how it is. Because you're a wholesaler, sometimes you might see something somewhere else. You might suggest it to someone else within your network of your own customers, and sometimes they look at you blank, like that doesn't apply for my business.
Well, I thought the same about us.
Yes,
because I've had the wholesale mindset.
Yes,
I haven't succeeded in the retail space, including when I opened up my own cafe, because it's a mindset, but also it has to be an ongoing focus. And after the next 3 to 6 months, I think some people will forget about it and go back to how they were. That's human nature. But the ones who have created another income source, as you say, that's fantastic.
Yes, and if they keep nurturing it, why not? Why not? It saved you today. It will save you again.
Yeah. And what I like about that too is that you can reach out to your customer and look after your customer direct. I think I see on social media the energy, the customers are loving having this direct contact with the restaurant, cafe, bakery, There's a really good energy there. Let's see how it washes out in the future. But people seem to be liking it. And of course, Uber had already set up this mentality already in the last couple of years. And, everyone was getting lazy and getting an ice cream sent home instead of going for a walk.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
And I reckon that's one of the, as much as we hate how much Uber Eats is expensive for restaurants to have it as an option, again, it's kind of a blessing that this technology it is today, and you don't even have to go with Uber, but you can have your own systems similar to what Uber Eats does and go and do it.
Yeah.
It definitely opened up eyes, opened up the mind to, hey, business does not have to be done in one way and that's it. There's other ways of doing business. But
we all got forced to get off our lazy and have a go.
Have a go. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, you're going to get pushed out of the nest.
Any strategies, any other strategies that you would like to share, or maybe one really good one?
Look, I feel like in any business, because I speak to other business people in other industries, and what's great is sales and marketing. It's always been there centuries ago, and in the future. The methods, obviously, they're technological advancement. As I was saying earlier, in the 90s, we used to do mail-outs and emails, and then that worked. We had some, and that actually worked at the time. But what worked was the marketing, and what worked at the start is we physically went door knocking. Nowadays, no one wants to be a door-to-door person at all. But in those days, we did it, and they were happy to see us. And of course, it's changed. And so I think whatever the most effective method of the day is, just do that and measure the result. These days, people are on social media and texting, so we use that because people are responsive to that and they like that and they don't mind that. And there's no more 9 to 5 anymore. And used to be a bit embarrassing, but now you can send a message at midnight or 2 a.m. and no one says, what are you doing? You can put it on silent if you want. And so I just encourage anyone to just do anything, but you've got to collect your database. That's your asset. Your customer is your asset, and everything else is second to that. And once you've got your asset and your database, if we're talking a cafe or restaurant, classic example, and the bakery industry, the thinking is very old school in those industries, and often, but not always, it's not a business operator that's started that. It's someone who's very good in the industry in some way. They've got high skill, and so therefore they're awesome at setting up and organizing and running food costs, or an excellent chef, or very good at branding, and these are all critical. But to me, the marketing is the top. It's the gold. It's the beginning. It's the end. And so I would encourage anyone to reach out. Most people can't do it themselves, but to reach out to someone like yourself, Mark, Your Social Chef, getting your food on the plate in front of your customer is step one, and making them an offer. But if they don't know about you and how good it is, or there is all the noise about 1,000 other places who are doing it, well, it doesn't matter. You're going to get left behind. And
that's right.
The message, yeah. And so I think what you've been doing and what you are doing is more important than anything. And what you're serving up in front of the market is success. And the reason it's success is there's so much noise, there's so much going on. People are scrolling. That's the attention. Attention is also an asset. And so I'm still learning, and you're still learning. I'll still be learning, but you don't have to be the best. You just have to do it and make it better, and get it in front of your customer. Your customer has a need, and in this industry, they're hungry. That's not the only need. Sometimes when we're allowed to, there's a need to socialize, and there's a need to sometimes to put on an event or a party and celebrate. So there are other customer needs, and they need to know that you're the one who can help them do that. And so what you do, Mark, is unbelievable, and that's why I spread that around as much as possible.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I reckon that was a brilliant conversation today. We went through where we were, how you got started, where you took the business to, how you're dealing and managing current challenges, how you're looking at collaborating with other suppliers, wholesalers, retailers, looking outside of your market, who could possibly be that person or this customer. It's again, like, there is no rules. Today, there is no rule.
Yeah.
As long as you're not doing anything illegal, there's no rules.
It's not the Wild West, but it's not.
Yeah,
I felt
rules. You write your own rules. You go out there and you do stuff until you put your hands on something that works. So wonderful. Then you keep testing, and what we call in marketing, test, rinse and repeat.
Yep.
So I reckon that was a brilliant interview. Thank you for your time. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we wrap it up?
No, thank you very much. I just would encourage all your viewers and listeners to not only get in touch with you, but to make a commitment to reach out to their market. And as you said, test market, get your stuff out in front of the customer, see what works, and repeat, rinse, repeat. I really encourage that. And that's how you become a brilliant marketer, is you just keep refining and you keep getting it out there. So when things go back to normal, make sure you've got that, make sure you've got your social chef and you've got your social media, which is the strong marketing of the day at the moment. Have that in play so that when you have to go back and focus on running the back end and the other parts of your business, that's looking after you. And Mark's
Anton, I would like to add one more thing. Can you tell us what is your business name? What is the product that you sell, and how, if anybody watching this video now or later on, what if they want to buy something, or they need it for their own operations, or a wholesaler that wants to collaborate, or a retailer? How do they get in contact with you, and what is your business?
Thank you. Yeah, it's the company is Cakes by Sweethearts, but we're known as Sweethearts Cakes. We're based in Melbourne, but we deliver national. The website is cakesandcookies.com.au. So you'll see all the things there, and we do desserts and slices and muffins and donuts and banana breads and all portion control, and we have HACCP and all that. And so people can reach us through the website, and the phone number's on there. That's not a problem. And what's great is, as the owner and the manufacturer, we do deals and offers, and that's our focus, and our customers love it. And so we're not just another cake business, as it were.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. And so please get in touch with us. We would love to work with you.
Wonderful, Anton. Anton, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Until the next one.
All the best.